So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Welcome back to the channel. Should you buy the iPhone 11 in 2021? By the way, Happy New Year's, you guys. I really do appreciate you guys continuing to watch the channel and continuing to support what we do around here. If it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be able to keep doing this. So I really do appreciate it. So thumbs up to you, and I hope you guys crush 2021, because that's what we're going to do around here. So we're going to discuss the iPhone 11 at $599, 6.1 inch liquid retina, aka an LCD display, and we also have A13 Bionic in here, 4 gigs of RAM, dual camera with a wide angle. Should you buy it now, because it is rocking 4G LTE? Okay guys, so let's talk about the build quality of this phone. I'm gonna be talking more from a forward perspective, like if you buy this now, down the line, is this really gonna work out? And from a build perspective, this does have aluminum edges, so this doesn't really show scratches all that much. I mean, maybe if you really drop it and scuff it up a lot, but it does a good job at hiding that stuff, whereas stainless steel on the Pro series definitely can get more scratched. You can see it easier, and this is a lighter material. Stainless steel is a heavier material, so this phone will feel a little bit lighter than the Pro series. In addition to that, this device right here does have Gorilla Glass on the back and on the front. And this phone has IP68 dust and water resistance. So in 2021, if you're wondering the build, is the 12 that much better? The answer to that question is no, it really isn't. So iPhone 11, still good to go there in this new year that we just entered. Now, when we talk about the display of the iPhone 12, we're looking at a liquid retina display. This marketing speak for LCD. Let's go ahead and hit the settings menu. We'll go to display, and we'll take a look at that brightness. This thing can reach a maximum brightness of 625 nits. And what's nice about this phone, just like the other iPhones, man, is listen, this one can go really dim or really bright. However, this is gonna feel aged in the future. And this is because Apple has switched to OLED for all of their upcoming devices. So this display, while it doesn't feel old now because they still have LCD, they're actually working on bringing OLED to the iPad as well. So they're transitioning a lot of their products to OLED, and this one's going to feel left behind, I think, in about 3 years, but 2 to 3 years, maybe then. But for now, it's okay. If you do want OLED though, you have to steer clear of this phone and go to a Pro series. It does have True Tone though, and it does have night shift, but unlike the older devices back in the day that had 3D touch, this one has a haptic press. So it's a little bit slower when you do punch in on things, and if you miss 3D touch, this is going to feel a little bit slower, but it still does work as you would expect, which is still quite nice. Now, when I am in Safari and I am reading text and stuff like that, this was some results from a previous speed test, you can see the text is very sharp. Even though this phone doesn't produce the highest resolution, this does have 1792 by 828. The text is sharp. The browsing experience is still good. 326 ppi, so Apple definitely can use Retina because you can't really see pixels, even though this display is not quite as good as the other devices. And I think if you stack the iPhone 11 up side by side with the 12, you will see the sharpness difference, but it's not a big deal, and you're not going to be doing that if you buy this phone. One thing I don't really appreciate or like too much about XR or iPhone 11 is the bezels are noticeably thicker. At 79 inches of screen to body ratio, you can actually tell the bezels are a little bit thick by comparison to, you know, the other devices in the line. So I'm not too much of a fan of that, but you know, again, this phone's $599. We're not asking you $999 for this phone. They're not asking $1,200 for this device. It's $599. So it's a sacrifice I'm easily willing to make, and I think you should too if you want a modern feeling iPhone like the 11. So the Apple iPhone 11 does give its own set of wallpapers. You can see there's like 6 of them here, and they're all dynamic. So what that means is if we set this one, for example, let's go ahead and set it. And I go ahead and I turn on the dark mode, which is available for this phone as well. We'll punch in here, hit dark mode. It'll dynamically switch, so that's quite nice. Overall, you have a bright display with the same features you get from the other iPhones. However, it doesn't go to 1000 nits. It doesn't go to 800 nits. It may or may not be a little difficult to see outdoors depending on how bright the sun is shining on your phone. But overall, I feel like for the price, nobody really had a problem with this display. So we'll move on to software, because like I said in the past video, it's pretty much the same as all the other iPhones. You have your app library, you have the new privacy enhancements, you do have the ability to add widgets to this phone, which really changes the experience of how you use your iPhone. I just really like what, iOS 14 brought. It made the iPhone experience a lot more dynamic, but what's nice about it is that you could have kept this phone very simple too. You could just leave it with the icons the way you did. You can remove your widgets. Let me remove this widget and get it out of here. You can just leave icons and just add one widget if you want. You can still just use this tray on the left if you want. So the iPhone experience got a lot better with the iOS 14. And a lot of the nice features I think came in the way of privacy with tracking a lot, making apps, request a track and location services. You can do app clips. And we also do have, precise location tracking. You could turn that on, off. A lot of nice stuff came with this software. So yeah, the experience won't change much from buying a brand new iPhone 12. And I would say because it's launched in 2019, you could expect this to be updated to around 2024. And considering how powerful this phone is, it might be even longer. We'll have to see and keep you updated on that. Okay, so talking about the A13 Bionic, the thing with this phone is that it really doesn't have any type of performance issues. I mean, iPhone, you've come to expect it to just be smooth at this point, and this one does a great job. It actually does such a great job that when I got the iPhone 12, I was like, bro, Apple, did you even put a new chip in here? That's what I was saying to myself, because I couldn't even see a real world difference between the two. I literally had to look really close. I mean, if I throw a benchmark on the phones, of course, the iPhone 12 is going to smoke the thing in terms of the raw numbers in Geekbench. But that stuff doesn't matter when I'm opening my apps day to day, when I'm using my stuff, and I can't even tell that they put a new chip in there. And that includes even doing stuff like video editing. This A13 will rip through this stuff. And I'm actually excited to try the A13 versus the Snapdragon 888, because I've been seeing reports that this phone, the A13 Bionic chip, is going to be faster than the latest 888. Isn't that something? 2019, we're in 2021. And again, we're releasing a new Snapdragon processor on Android phones. We're going to have to test that out to see if that claim comes true. But I mean, look at it, ripping through stuff. I mean, it's just so fun to use this phone just because of its amazing speed. So on the topic of battery life, this phone right here has a pretty sizable 3110 milliamp hour battery. So it's a very good size battery in this body. And the iPhone 11 was always impressive on this front. This phone could also wirelessly charge, and it could also fast charge. But the thing with the iPhone 11 is that when you're using the phone throughout the day, even when you have the brightness turned up, I don't know if it's because the display doesn't draw that much power. I could have the brightness way up and this phone would still last the whole day. That I can't say for every iPhone. That doesn't always happen. If you charge it fully, you wake up in the morning, this thing easily lasts the day. So I really do like that a lot about the 11. I think the whole 11 series was great in that department. Now, when it comes to actual screen on time, if I kept my brightness around 50%, I was getting just around 7 hours of screen time with this phone. So I don't know what else to say. It just does really well in the battery department. All right, guys, so let's talk about the cameras. This is a dual 12 megapixel camera. One's an f1.8. That means it lets a lot of light in. This one also has an ultra wide of up to 120 degrees wide field of view, 13 millimeter lens. So that's ultra wide for a phone. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open the camera up, and you know what's funny? Last year when I had the 11 Pro and Pro Max, I was constantly still using this phone to make videos because the video quality on this phone was just as good. And they don't name the 11, they don't name the 12 Pro Series devices, but they do Pro Series work. So you can definitely get the job done here. Now, if we go ahead and punch wide, it does go ultra wide. Now, Samsung phones do go wider than the iPhone 11, but the iPhone 11 has this consistency about it where the actual main camera and the wide angle camera looks very consistent with each other. Although the wide is not as sharp, the color reproduction, the accuracy of it, very good. This phone also has that quick take video. So if you hold down, you can do quick take video. You can burst to the left. And in this video department, you can easily change between your video modes up here. In addition to that, my favorite thing about the 11 was that the front facing camera matched up perfectly with the rear camera. So if I go ahead and do 4K 60 on the front and I want to make a video, let's say I want to flip it around to the back and I want 4K 60 on the back because I'm doing a vlog or something, it matches up. And that is incredible for creation using this camera. So these cameras right here, also with the night, let me go to photo mode. Also with the night mode, you could see up there, beats out the 10R amazing cameras. I freaking love them. And I know you guys will too if you pick up the iPhone 11. Okay, so let's have a listen to the audio.
Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone XS Max 2 years later. So yeah, we're getting up there near 2021. It's going to be in its third year, but technically it's around 2 years old. Is this phone still worth it?
So you can see we hit 110. Let's go ahead and show you this. We hit 110 decibels here. That's pretty loud. So these speakers, they get very loud here for the iPhone 11. So don't be worried about the audio. If you want headphone jacks, this is not your phone, but don't be worried about the external audio. This thing also brought Bluetooth 5.0. So what does that mean? Your headphones connect ridiculously fast. When you hit Bluetooth, it'll be like Bluetooth connected. You know how those headphones go. The Face ID system on this phone also did better to me than the iPhone 10 did. So if you never bought an iPhone 10, who cares? You definitely got a better Face ID system here. It operated better on different angles. And when it comes to its phone call quality, it wasn't the best in the world. It didn't have the Qualcomm modems. I say that in a lot of videos, but it's true. This phone just didn't have the best signal strength I've seen. 4G LTE wasn't always 100% reliable for me, but you know, the connectivity, depending on the area, it didn't seem to bother a lot of people because millions still bought this phone and it did fine for them. This thing brought Wi-Fi 6 performance as well and keeps the lightning connectivity. So if you wanted, you know, the USB-C, this is not the phone. So let's just wrap it up here. It's 2021. You're thinking, I want to buy the iPhone 11 now. It's $599. It's a good deal. I agree with you. If you think it's a good deal, you're definitely right in that feeling because this phone represents a really good value, but you have to live with the fact that 5G is going to be something of a norm in 2021 and you only have 4G LTE here. However, I will state 5G is still expanding, but if you want to be on the latest mobile data, you probably don't want this phone. But if you don't care about this, excellent deal. iPhone 11 is still a stunning piece of hardware. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Are you picking one up in 2021? Are you saving up for one? Did you already have one? You traded it off and you want to leave your feedback? Drop it down below and subscribe to the channel because we got many more videos coming in 2021. Have a great new year. I'll catch you all in the next one. Nick here, and peace.